So in this video, we got this TikTok video that's gone viral about some Gen Z female going off about working a 9-to-5 job, and she talks about how news networks and like other generations are dogging her generation about working a 9-to-5 job. So I'm just gonna let her speak, and then let her say what she has to say, and then I'll give my commentary afterwards. So let's hear what she has to say about working a 9-to-5 job.
I cannot stand how the news has been dogging Gen Z and calling them lazy for not wanting to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of their lives. Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat. All by myself. I would not be capable of doing that. 20 years ago when you were getting started, you could live on your own. 20 years ago when you first started, you were able to do everything that I am now struggling to do. Let me add another perspective here. You've been working for 20 years. You have 20 years of working experience behind your belt. You have 20 years of experience in a career that has allowed you to gain raises, to get more money, to profit you in an economy that you created. You can sit here and you can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but I've been working my tail end off just to barely make it by. And respectfully, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. I don't want to work my tail end off, wasting all of my life working just to barely be able to pay my bills. And that is what you created, not Gen Z. We're just here getting started. You've been doing it for the last 20 years. You tell me how it got ruined. We can sit here and we can call Gen Z lazy all you want, but you let the economy turn into what it did. You let it all run to hell. And now it's Gen Z's fault because we don't want to work to fix your mistakes. I cannot.
So, all right, I'm not gonna get into the whole back and forth about Gen Z, other generations going back and forth, whose fault it is, because it's not gonna solve any issues, and people just gonna go back and forth with the nonsense. So, but what I will say is that like when it comes to the 9-to-5, I don't blame her. Like I remember I was the same way when I was in college. I was talking about how I didn't want to work a 9-to-5. I was in college. I was talking about how I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job, right? And after I graduated, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it was just like, all right, boom. It validated a lot of my thoughts about just the whole 9-to-5 job, overall. But for me, I was like, all right, so what am I gonna do about it, right? Like, what am I gonna like if I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job? What am I gonna do about it? Well, how am I gonna fix that problem? And for me, I've always been business minded, and I wanted to start my own business. So, and even though as I was doing that, I was still working 9-to-5 jobs, right? Because you got to work a 9-to-5 job. If you're someone that's like that doesn't want to work a 9-to-5 job, and that's cool, but like if you don't want to work, like how are you gonna pay for things, right? Because things have to be paid for. Like you have bills to pay, you want to eat, you want to buy things, you have to go do things, and you just can't just expect to just be like sit there and be like, all right, I don't want to work, but things you still want things taken care of, right? But I think for her and for a lot of people, it's not the fact that you have to work a 9-to-5 job. It's just the fact that you have to work so hard, right? And not get much out of it, right? Like you feel like you're wasting your life working at 9-to-5. You don't have that freedom. And I think for a lot of people, it's just having that freedom to at least, if I'm a working 9-to-5 job, at least can I have the freedom to also enjoy life at the same time. And I think for a lot of people, that's the difficulty, right? But it's hard to do that with a 9-to-5 job. It's just really hard. And for a lot of people, most people just don't like their 9-to-5 job. They don't like their job. And not only that, but the issue I always had with a 9-to-5 job is your income is capped. Right, like if you're making hourly wage or you have a salary, the money that you can make is capped, right, based on your salary and hourly wage. And for me, I never liked that, because especially if you look at the economy now and you look at inflation. And the way the government manipulates the money and the interest rate, it creates all this inflation. It's hard to really get ahead when inflation and things are increasing at a rate higher than what you're getting paid, right? So if housing, if you look at housing years ago, food, grocery, all that thing years ago, like you see the increase in how expensive they've gotten over the years, and you look at how much people's pay raise has gone, it hasn't increased at the same rate. And that's the thing about a 9-to-5 job. Like it's hard to do that, right? It's just hard to be like, all right, increase your income at a certain rate that matches inflation or the prices of everything else that you need to buy. And I never liked that. I never liked my income being limited. So that's why I wanted to start a business where I can have control over my income. And I think for a lot of people, I think that's what they're struggling with, right? They're just trying to live life. They want to work their job if they can, enjoy it, and be able to pay for the things that they want and still have fun, enjoy life the way they want to. But it's hard to do that and she looks like she works at Walmart. So, and not to knock anybody that works at Walmart or anything like that, it's gonna be hard for her to do that. Like if you work at Walmart, if you're someone that works at Walmart, you're never going to be making enough to really be able to enjoy the life that you want to live, right? Be able to pay your bills because you're not making enough, right? Like I know some people say you work this full-time job and you should be able to pay your bills with it, but it depends on what you do. If you work at Walmart, it's going to be hard to do that. It's going to be hard for you to get an apartment, pay for this, vacations. It's going to be hard to do that working at a job that doesn't really pay you that much. And you can get all the pay increases you want, but it'll never be enough. Right, because inflation is gonna go up at the same rate. So I understand what you're saying, because like I said, I felt that way before too, and I'm a millennial, so I understand when it comes to just not wanting to work a 9-to-5 job. Like that life, for me, it never appealed to me. Right, even though I still worked my 9-to-5 jobs, because obviously had to make money, had to pay for things. And for me, like, don't get it twisted. I work for myself. Like I do my own thing, and I work more than 40 hours. But I'm doing something that gives me joy, right? I enjoy the things that I do, right? And not only that, but I have the freedom to do what I want and go where I want and make the choices that I want. And I'm working on building something that could potentially make me more money in the long run. And that's what the thing and if you're someone that doesn't want that 9-to-5 life job either, because I know everyone's not meant to do the entrepreneurial work and do their own business thing, but understand that your income is capped if you go the alternate route, right, the 9-to-5 route. But if you're someone that wants to do better in life, make money, then the only alternative is like either get that high paying job, or start your own business, start your own side hustle where you can create, you have control over your finances, your income. And I think that's what you're going to have to do, because you're going to see a lot of people in this situation where they're just working so much just to barely make it, right? And it could be for a lot of reasons, right? For a lot of people, it's an income problem, right? For other people, it's a spending problem, right? And you have to find, if it's an income problem, then obviously, and your job is not paying you enough. If you're someone that's managing their expenses and you're not making enough, then obviously you're gonna have to develop some skills in order to make more money. If you have money, if you're making money and you're still living paycheck to paycheck, then you need to check your expenses and see like if you're spending more than you make, right? So you have to figure it out. Like I don't know your financial situation, so it's hard for me to be like, this is what you need to do. But usually for a lot of people, it's either an income problem or a spending problem. And for people, like if you want to be able to enjoy the life that you want, understand it's not going to be easy, right? Don't just think you're going to be sitting there and then life is going to be all sunshine and rainbows. You got to put in work, right? But I think for a lot of people, they want to put in the work for something that brings them joy, right? In her case, she's working for Walmart. All she's doing is busting her ass, making Walmart rich, right? And I think if you're going to put in that work, you want to put in that work for you, right? Make sure that you're building your wealth up. So I get it. Like I understand the whole 9-to-5 grind thing, man. Even though I understand you need to work, but if that's the case, then you got to find an alternative route, right? Working at Walmart or working at a job is just not going to get it done. And for me, I was just like, I know what I want to do, so I know I have to sacrifice and build for that. So you got to make a choice, right? Because these 9-to-5 jobs are what they are. They're not going to be fun. Your income is limited, and you have really no control. And it's going to, especially the way inflation is working and the way that things cost so much in here, you got to find a way to get your income increasing at a rate that keeps up with what's going on. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Right, so you guys take care and have a good one. Later.